don't get too caught up or too boastful with all that I have accomplished for you. For you. Remember that. I have been given this thorn in the flesh. A thorn in the flesh. Now, what could that possibly be? It could be anything. And it's a very, very obscure term, isn't it? We're sure of one thing, just by its description, a thorn in the flesh, it's something that's uncomfortable. It could have been Paul's poor eyesight. He had terrible eyesight. Those were the days before glasses or contact lenses or laser surgery. Can you imagine how difficult it would be wanting to be someone who could read and write, a scholar, someone who was well educated like Paul and had struggled with reading? Can you imagine what any of us here today wear glasses? Where would we be without our glasses? Probably stuck at home. Or could it be the fact that Paul was also one who stuttered? He had a speech impediment. That's a cruel trick for someone who's supposed to go out and proclaim the good news, isn't it? To stutter. Remember, if any of you have seen the movie The King's Speech, how frustrating it was for the King of England to be able to speak. He wanted to say and had so much to say, worth listening to, but he was afraid to open his mouth. Could that have been the thorn in his side that kept him humble? Or was it perhaps the fact that he knew at any one time, if they really meant to do it, the Romans and the Jews could gang up on him as a Christian and simply put him to death? That's also a possibility, isn't it? So what does he do? Good and faithful person, he takes it to prayer. And he tells us that he begged the Lord to remove this curse, this thorn from him. 3 times he says so. Now, that doesn't literally mean that he only prayed 3 times. I would hate to see that be a reality. He would say, gee, what a quitter. 3 lousy times and he gives up. Give me a break. It means that he prayed endlessly. Lord, take this away from me so I can truly be great as you want me to be. And the Lord says, no. What does the Lord say? My grace is sufficient for you. My grace is sufficient for you. What about us? Look at our lives. How many of us wish that we could do something better or differently, or that perhaps there was something about ourselves that we wish we could change? Maybe we'd like to be taller, smarter. Maybe we wouldn't want to wear glasses. Maybe we want something else in our lives that we just can't seem to have. And yet we say to ourselves, convincing ourselves that if I only had that much more of this or that, or could do this differently or a little bit better, I would be a great success. The life of an endless dreamer. And what would God say to us if we took that issue to prayer, and not only did we talk about it, but we stopped for a moment and listened to the Lord? He might say the same to us. My grace is sufficient for you. 2 weeks ago, I spent a week up at Notre Dame University for a conference called